Hi, this is Jerry. I've got a question for you. What is the greatest expression of love for a child? To give them everything they want, or lovingly teaching them the difference between right and wrong? Welcome to Proverbs 13:24. This is one of the most discussed verses in Proverbs because it addresses discipline. Sadly, it has often been misunderstood. King Solomon's emphasis is not on punishment, but on loving correction. True discipline is an expression of love that seeks to develop character, wisdom, and responsibility. Every loving parent wants the very best for their children. Yet, one of the greatest responsibility God has given to parents is not simply providing food or clothing and opportunities. It's shaping a child's character. King Solomon teaches that love is willing to correct. A parent who never guides, teaches, or corrects a child really leaves that child without wisdom that he's going to need to face life and be successful. Loving discipline is not motivated by anger or by control. It's motivated by a desire to prepare a child for life, a life with integrity, responsibility, and faithfulness. The word rod here in this verse mentions it's commonly a shepherd's staff. It's a tool used to guide and to protect and gently redirect the sheep that wander from danger. King Solomon uses this familiar picture to remind parents that discipline is meant to guide and to protect and to teach, not to harm, not to humiliate. God's discipline, he even disciplines his own children because he loves them. He loves them in the same way wise parents lovingly correct their children with patience, consistency, and kindness. Correction should always be given with self-control and with the child's well-being always in mind. Discipline without love, well, that becomes harshness. Love without discipline becomes neglect. God's wisdom calls us to both hold them together. Words from the ancient men of the past, there was a word for the word rod was shevet. I hope I said that right, meaning a shaft, a shepherd's rod, or a symbol of guidance and authority. Well, it could be used for correction. It also represents protection, leadership, and care. There's another word, loves, ahiva, which means to deeply love, cherish, and seek another's highest good. See, that word discipline comes from yasar, which means to instruct, correct, train, or educate through loving guidance. It describes forming character rather than simply punishing a child's behavior. In this verse it says, discipline him diligently. This carries the idea of correcting early, consistently, and thoughtfully, rather than waiting until a problem becomes much harder to address as they get older. Now, how does this apply to us today? This principle reaches beyond parenting. You see, teachers correct students so that they can learn. Coaches correct athletes so that they can improve. Your employer corrects employees so they can succeed. And even pastors lovingly correct believers so that they can grow spiritually. God corrects his children because he wants us to become more like Christ. Whenever correction is motivated by genuine love and given with wisdom, it becomes a gift rather than a burden. The goal of discipline is never embarrassment. It is transformation. Now here's one thing I want you to remember. Real love doesn't ignore wrong. It lovingly guides people toward what is right. Now, children seem to come into this world without an instruction manual. I've got two. And they spend years trying to convince us that they really don't need one. But thankfully, our God gave us one, and it's his word. Let me leave you with this closing thought. Whether you're a parent or a grandparent, a teacher, a leader, a friend, just remember that loving correction is one of the greatest gifts you can ever give. When truth is spoken with kindness and received with humility, lives are changed. As God patiently teaches us, may we patiently guide those he's placed in our care. So live with the wisdom of Proverbs. Now this verse is going to be on the screen. Read it out loud if you can. Have a great day.